All right, guys, this is going to be a bit of a stretch in today's video, but we're going to aim to do it in under 15 minutes. There's a lot of talk going on around the Bitcoin halving. We're about a week away from that right now. There's also talk of blow-off tops for Bitcoin this year based on an early cycle top. That could be the final top and then a major correction. And of course, if we saw that final top, we'd probably see that for the stock markets as well. So there's still talk of blow-off tops for the stock market and major corrections. On top of that, there's also talk about interest rates still looking like they could get cut this year. But as we've been covering for quite some time, these interest rates don't look like they're going to be cut. And in fact, interest rates look like they are too cheap. And so if you're just finding my channel now and you're seeing the content the way it is, essentially, this typically goes against the grain. It goes against 95% of what people say out there. Essentially, I mean, you could call it contrarian, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. But the main thing that I'm looking at here are longer term perspectives of the markets, giving you my thoughts on the traditional markets, stock markets, of course. We look at the economic data. We cover a lot of market sentiment with news headlines and what the masses are looking at to see if we can unpack anything more than irrational, emotional headlines that basically capture attention and emotion to try and get people to put money into the market. So there might be a few ideas here that are new to you. If so, let me know in the comments section. I've changed it up just slightly in terms of the videos because you guys have given me the feedback. I was asking for over 3,000 likes to let me know you want more content like this. And I ask you again in this video, let's do over 3,500 to see if this is the way you want to see the content come through. Now, I've got a lot of thoughts to get through today, so there's a lot of stuff that I want you to humor me with in this video. Of course, I've got plenty on Bitcoin. I want to look at Solana as well, and also 18.6-year cycles with a different slight little spin on it there. But I'll get to those in just a moment. Make sure you hit the subscribe and hit those likes so they know this is what you want to see. So far, we've been doing pretty well. Heaps of comments around that, but the views have dropped off a lot. So maybe we're not reaching the same sort of audience to share this type of information with them. Maybe they're still stuck on the mainstream stuff, which I'll get to in a moment. With that said, and basically just explaining what the market is seeing, or I guess what the media is showing. I mean, the latest data, PPI's come in, it was a bit under here, markets have jumped back up, but essentially what I'm looking at overall is the grind. That's what we've been talking about here, especially a seasonal type of grind for the S&P 500 and for the NASDAQ. When I look at the dates here, we've got about 35 days or 24 trading days. This is the S&P 500 within this range. And what we've shown before is this is basically a seasonal type of pattern through the market. So, just referencing back to the term of a blow-off top or, Bitcoin final tops here before we get into the halving or just after the halving, this thing should go to, as some are saying, blow past 100 grand in less than 10 days. Nothing against any of these people. I'm just looking at mainstream, and for crypto, we don't necessarily have a mainstream. The mainstream is, to me, what I see as YouTube and Twitter. And so I just look for the biggest accounts and try to see whether anything they're talking about actually has any grounds, or is it just sort of hype. And I mean, to me, I just see it all as hype. So back at the S&P 500 and for the stock markets, nothing has changed here. The grind is going on. 9 days, 9 days below the all-time high. We just moved the counter across 3% from the top. So it's our biggest correction in 6 months for the S&P 500. The Dow Jones has had its biggest correction so far. And essentially, we've been underneath those all-time highs now for, at least in the case of the S&P, 9 days, whereas before it was 14 days. The significance of this is just the time to grind below those tops, because before we were seeing newer all-time highs day after day. The main thing I see with this, with investors, is they're hoping for bigger corrections to get into the market. So before, what I had spoken about, and the only way I can do this really quickly is to show you receipts, December 22, near the bottom of the market. I said the S&P 500 is not crashing, it is bottoming. And this went for the NASDAQ, went for Dow Jones, went for Bitcoin. This is the easiest way I can do it nice and quick. This, nothing against whoever this is, this was what the masses were looking at. They thought it was going to bottom below 3,000. So wrong. They thought Bitcoin was going to bottom below 15K, so wrong. Real estate's not crashing, but it'll keep grinding lower. In fact, it was the exact opposite. Real estate has grinded higher. So asset prices have continued to go up. And this is all tying back into the interest rates in just a second. But this is what all the masses were thinking a year and a half ago. So I want to give you a bit of a perspective of what I think the masses are thinking now. And looking at, in terms of the stock markets, they all want a correction. They're all thinking this thing's gone on too long. They want a correction so they can get in and then the market goes up with them because they all missed out. That post I did was way back here. There's December 22, just after the bottom. Very, 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 very different times then, okay? So now what I think is going on in the markets, remember this is my thoughts on with blow off tops and Bitcoin pumping to 100 grand before the halving or maybe just after the halving and just everything's going to be all fine and dandy for everyone. I don't think that is going to happen. I don't think we're going to see significant corrections here so everyone can jump in and then it all takes off all together, you know, like a big party like that. It's just the markets, they don't work like that. And that now we're seeing with the media that they're flipping bullish. So everyone's sort of bullish on the market, but they're like, oh, there should be a pullback. There should be a pullback. The main thing here is we're probably going to see prices grind higher as we have done throughout the stock markets, well, at least the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones. You're seeing it grind higher. Now, we are in this pattern. This is seasonal. Talked about that. We can go into that in more detail in future videos. But I just wanted to give you a quick recap on the stock markets, as we've also seen interest rates continue to climb. The probabilities of cuts climb to no cuts. So we're potentially going to see an interest rate hike. That's a possibility. We've talked about that. And again, the receipts are on my X, just looking at how these interest rates have continued to, let me go this way, to continue to climb in the face of 99% of people expecting cuts in every single meeting. Okay, didn't happen. And I still heard it yesterday. I had a meeting with a builder yesterday and they're like, oh, look, and a couple other people, and they're like, oh yeah, we're expecting interest rate cut this year. And I try to keep my mouth shut. And I'm like, look, it's probably not going to happen. Just prepare for that. So prepare for no cuts. If we get a cut, great. If not, if you get a cut, there's probably something a little bit wrong, as some of you guys have pointed out in the comments, because asset prices are still going up. So you'd need to see asset prices come down a lot for them to cut interest rates to try and spur the market back on, to try and put that heat back into it. And that would go for Bitcoin as well, in which case things might be worse at that time. Let's wait till we get there. Okay, so that's update interest rates. That's the cycle we looked at yesterday in terms of interest rates, getting used to interest rates being a little higher than where they have been for the last several years at 0, which is pretty ridiculous. So we just got to get used to that. That's a macro perspective. Stock markets, nothing wrong there. We're still on a seasonal climb here, or seasonal grind until we get to the climb with the election at the end of the year as well. As for the US dollar, it looks like we still, well, the US dollar that is still trying to grind up here to test around 107. It's testing 105 at the moment, which were these levels that we'd watched. Essentially, this is going up. It's potentially going to, USD is going up, potentially going to put some pressure onto assets like Bitcoin. But for now, there's still no sign that we're going to break through 107 yet. It gets a break at 107, then we'll start to reassess things to see how this market goes. Now, as just one last thing on the US dollar, I've got it on a monthly chart here. Let's take off the noise. One thing that Michael, my brother, pointed out, you can find his channel in the description down here, which again, check out the free TIA report and be notified when we have some courses coming up. Michael suggested that the rise might not be as strong as what it had done in the past when it rallied really hard because of the volume. Now, the volume is quite low in this climb. Nonetheless, higher highs, higher lows on the swing chart. Just keep following the trend. But of course, we're looking towards those resistance points at roughly 105 and 107. All right, so we're keeping that in the backs of our minds. 18.6 year cycle, nothing's changed here. We're still on this journey towards the peak, which could be in a couple of years' time. Now, I'm just going to quickly squeeze this in before I get to Bitcoin and cryptos. Someone commented on an X post here of mine where I did an update of the wall of worry, talking about interest rates and inflation. The wall of worry essentially means we're in a massive bull market, yet there's worry points that the masses are always worried about, that the market should collapse, interest rates, higher for longer, inflation's coming up, market's got to collapse, yada, yada. Doesn't happen. Good point here. Does it puzzle you that there is an 18.6 year lunar cycle as well? Not at all. So I had a quick look here. lunar cycle peaks, this is for you to do more research on. Maybe we'll talk about it later. Look at the peaks of the lunar cycle. It's the same peaks for the real estate market and for the stock market. And then the low points for the low points of the moon was at the low points of the stock markets and the real estate cycle. There's a stock market 08 or 09, right? And then the real estate and economy was at that point there, okay? 11 and 12, 2011, 2012. It says there's another high point in 2023 to 2026. Let's just leave it there. You guys do more of your own research looking at the 18.6 year cycle and how that all works out. You got a couple of peaks back going forward another 20 years. So you could basically forecast the entire market for the rest of your life. And you can look back where the major standstills were. You had October, Black Monday. And then basically, if you look at that 3-year gap, you basically saw the top of the stock market and real estate market, and then in a correction, major recession in 1990. So as I said, I don't have time to go into that today. We've got to get it to our thoughts on with Bitcoin and tying in interest rates, the possibility of them not going up, pausing, not going down, but potentially going up as well. We've obviously got the halving coming up. This video, just to see what the masses are looking at, it's just bullish on top of bullish. There's bank ads, which is good. It's like a nice little collection here of what's going on around the markets. History of Bitcoin, look at it, the halving's coming up. There's going to be less Bitcoin. There's more demand. There's ATHs. That's just an ad. It's not their video, but it's an ad, of course. ETFs are filing for more, companies are filing for more ETFs. SEC's going after them. Then you've got it on whatever this is CNBC or Fox. I don't know, one of the American channels over there. Fox Business, there you go. Everyone's talking about it. So to me, I'm always a little bit hesitant when everyone's talking about it. There's ETFs going on, like a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk on the news. There's a lot of talk of Bitcoin halving. So lots of news headlines coming out now. That one made me laugh. XRP, come on guys. Bitcoin halving dates, here they are down here. And then looking at it in terms of the Google search trends for Bitcoin halving, obviously skyrocketing now because it's the month. It's about a week away now. It happens the 19th or 20th next week. Does this give us a much more accurate guide? April 2024. So we don't have the exact date yet because it can shift slightly, but roughly around the 19th or 20th of the month. And of course, the interest is rising, as you can see on a broad perspective. Now let's bring it down to about 90 days. Where were the peaks? The peaks were 4 days ago, and we've started to drop off. This might increase. We might get higher lows into it next week, into the actual day itself. But just be aware of how this drops off after the halving, which would be normal, right? If the halving's done, no one's going to be searching for it. And in which case, that might lead us to our April-May top, which might have the Bitcoin price go up higher. So I've covered this multiple times already. 78.5, 81.5, look somewhere towards the high 70s, high 70s to low 80s for a possible rejection of price. Just look at how price reacts to look at how the pattern reacts to the price at that time. You can see I've got the halving here printed in on the 20th. Maybe it's the 19th, the 20th. You get the point. Now I've got this also on the chart here, the ETF. You can see the market running up into that ETF, and then it cools off after that point. Are we going to be as lucky this time round where the cool off, where the correction was only about 21%? That is, to me, that's the big question. To the masses, I think they think we're going all the way to 100 grand in the next 7 days. When I see so much on that side of the masses thinking that we've got big, massive things coming after the halving or very, very close around the halving and, less than 10 days, blow past 100K less than 10 days. I'm not going to take that at exactly face value because I hate when people do that around my videos. But maybe that's what some of the masses are thinking, not necessarily what the guys who create the videos think. But that just leads me to speculate on the possibility of it not happening when the masses think it happens. That contrary look at the market at extremes, not on the way up, because for periods of time, the masses are right. We're all on the same boat here, and we believe the markets are going up. What happened at the lows, for a long time, the masses did not believe this was the low at 15K, or that the market was going to bottom at 20K or at 25K. And as I've pointed out here, That was my view at the bottom there, December. Bitcoin is bottoming. One leg lower. That was 90% of people thinking that there was one leg lower, that there had to be a leg lower to 10K, 9K. You might remember, didn't happen. So I just said, no hate here. I looked at that because I reviewed this in January. And essentially all of it was wrong because that's what the masses were thinking at the time. I also posted this in June just as an update. So more receipts here, but this goes forward into this current period of the market where I think we're kind of at one of the euphoric tops, or have been at one of the euphoric tops, that in June, I really did think we were about to come out of these periods of anger, depression, and disbelief. Bitcoin in June was here at this peak here. So it just trickled down into August, September. That got quite depressive, and then we exploded from that particular price. So we're definitely out of those times. I think we needed, or at least at this stage, we've got higher highs, higher lows. So I'm not of the view that this market must come down and break 60K now, especially with the built up energy behind us, with all of this going on around the halving in 7 days' time. Lots and lots of talk about it, especially sort of exploding here, different fractals that we've looked at. It's got to just jump to 100K. But I am definitely of the view that we need to see how the price responds, how the market responds to these two particular points above, which also come into about 5% or so. Look at that, 6% to the first one and about 10% to the next price from the previous high. And the importance of that is what happened last time as well. This happens at tops too. It's not just one instance. When you see price start to roll over at peaks, 5.8% from peak to peak, and then the next one, 5% from peak to peak, it's starting to give you that warning sign that the energy is dying off to the upside and that we might be in for a bigger correction. So I think I've gone over time here, guys. Thank you for your attention on the video. I had a few more things I wanted to get through, in particular with altcoins and looking for strength there, but I'm going to save that for another video. So make sure you hit the like button. Let me know if this is the style you want to see my thoughts on as we encapsulate what's going on in the markets here over the broad outlook of everything going on. 3,500 this video. I want to see those likes up. Then I know this is what you want to see. So cheers. Thanks once again. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and peace out.